I have a friend who is the oldest of 4 kids. He has 2 little sisters and a little brother. And the way he likes to tell it, every Saturday and most days during summer vacation, it was a race to get out of the house because he knew what was coming. After the Saturday morning cartoons was watched, yes, they actually used to play cartoons all Saturday morning. It was glorious. He would rush to eat his lunch, gather his things, and get out of the house and down the block to play with his friends. A lot of the time he would make it, but a lot of other times he would get stopped. He would throw open the screen door and race down the driveway, and just as he was about to turn and run the length of the sidewalk, he would hear the screen door creak open. And his mother would yell, "Hey, don't forget to watch out for your little brother." Another day ruined. Hi, I'm Jessie. Welcome back to Theocademy's Confirmation series. In the first chapter of Genesis, the creation story goes like this. God separated the light from the darkness and called it good. Then God made the sky, gathered all the water and marked out the dry land and called it good. God made plants and trees and fruits and seeds and called it good. Then God made the sun, the moon, and the stars and called it good. After that, God made birds and fish and cattle and wildlife, and God called all of this good. And then God made humans and told them that they were responsible for taking care of everything else that had been made. If they did, they would have food to eat. The Bible says this is what happened, and God saw that it was all very good. A big part of good stewardship is realizing that we have to take care of the world that God made. The Book of Order says that part of what it means to be Presbyterian is that we seek proper use of the gifts of God's creation. But just like my friend and his little brother, a lot of times we don't want to acknowledge that we have a responsibility to take care of what God has made. Usually all we're doing is trying to get out of the house before someone reminds us that we're the big kid and we need to take care of the little kid.
Ask the pastor.
What is God's creation?
Everything.
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 We are all God's creation.
Everything that we can see and beyond.
All right, well, that's easy enough.
Does that mean I have to be an environmentalist?
Yes.
We have clearly connected the call from God to care for creation and to be good stewards of creation to being faithful in the way that we engage creation.
You know, if I don't recycle, if I waste water, if I take more than my fair share of the resources that are here, that's probably not good for God's creation.
But yes, as a Christian, you should be an environmentalist. If what you mean by that is that you care about creation and the world and the environment that you're in.
So whether you call yourself an environmentalist or a good steward of God's creation, probably comes out to be the same thing.
So what is my responsibility for the earth?
We are responsible for what happens to the earth. We're responsible for the choices that we make.
God put Adam and Eve in this garden, and he said, everything you see is yours. You are to care for it all, take care of it all, enjoy it all.
Well, if we think about every person being made in God's image and everything being made in God's image, then I think that you're going to care more deeply and you're going to treat people and other parts of creation differently if you see the way that God made them.
Well, the truth is that when I drive my car and burn gasoline, I am contributing to the pollution that is affecting the earth.
I think your responsibility is to think carefully about how you live and to try and be more faithful in how you're living. More faithful to God's call to care for creation. So if you can recycle. You know, be aware, I think, of what you are doing and how you are living your life. And even bigger picture. Be aware of, and this is harder, this is so hard to do, but I think we're called to it, is to be aware of the corporations that you support, the companies that you buy things from. How are they treating the world?
If something terrible happens to this world that we're in, we're not going to blame the monkeys. We're not going to blame the deer, right? It's like we are given something special by God, and part of what we're supposed to do with that is take good care of creation and watch over it and tend to it.
So, I've made a decision.
Well, that sounds important.
It is. I want a dog.
Is that so?
Yes.
And where are you going to keep this dog?
I want a small dog so it can stay in my room with me.
Not in this house. We have a hard enough time keeping it clean as it is.
Okay, then I'll build it a doghouse in the backyard.
And what are you going to feed this dog?
Dog food, I guess.
And where are you going to get this dog food?
From the pet store, Dad. Duh.
My bad. How about this? Why don't we start with something smaller and work our way up to a dog? What do you say?
But I really want a dog.
Understood, but dogs are a lot of work. How about a hamster?
But you already got me a hamster.
Oh, that's right. Whatever happened to that hamster?
Got out and ran away, Dad. Remember?
You know, I'd forgotten that. Why did it run away again?
Because I forgot to close the cage. But it was Keisha's fault. She distracted me.
No need to place blame. Sounds like we need to start at something smaller than a hamster. How about a fish?
Dad, I've already had a fish.
Right, you have, but
it died.
Uh-huh. And why was that?
Because I didn't feed it.
Well, that's unfortunate. Remind me, why did that poor creature not get fed?
Because I couldn't find the fish food.
Because
it got lost in my room.
Which is always a mess.
I'm not getting a dog, am I?
Nope.
If you can't bother to pick up your socks, you won't take care of a dog.
Fine.
You're one to talk about picking up socks.
One of our confessions in the Book of Confessions, a brief statement of faith, says, "We rebel against God by threatening death to the planet entrusted to our care." I don't need to tell you all the ways that humanity has not cared for the earth. I don't need to teach you about climate change or oil spills or the fact that we're running out of fossil fuels. You're probably learning in school about all the species that could go extinct, all the farmers that won't be able to produce crops, all the malnutrition that will take place across the globe. But what I do want to tell you is that God expects us to work on doing something about it. Part of being good stewards and recognizing that the gifts of creation are God's is about realizing that there are a lot of people who will live after us. If all we think about is what we need right here, right now, we've basically told future generations that they don't matter to us. So think about it like this. There's a farmer who plants an orchard of trees that she knows will not produce any fruit for 50 years. Every day she tends the trees and makes sure they have all they need to grow. One day someone asks her why she does all that work for fruit she may never eat. And she says, "Because my grandchildren need to eat too." God made the earth and all that is in it, and God made us to take care of it. All the people that came before us took care of it so that we could live good lives. To be Presbyterian means that we should do the same.